Moment of silence for the champions, for those who make going hard a lifestyle. Never wait for nothing, gotta get it right now. I'm in the spotlight when they turn the lights down. Only a champ swing the hardest in the 12th round. I love the fourth quarter, I love the ninth inning, I love game 7. Bring on the competition, cause in my heart can't nobody do it better. Can't slow me down, won't stop me never. I'm so passionate, Clay, I'm Tyson in his prime.
You know me, man. I'm Barry Bonds with mine. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Pressure Podcast. Give me a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah!
Back in full effect. Today's a Thursday night edition where we'll recap the N3A, this is what I call the NBA. Round 2 of the playoffs. We have a lot to dive into. Let's get to the intro. We are live from our studio in Orlando, Florida. It's your boy King Cole.
LeBron.
Finish him!
Rated M for millennials. Birthday Thursday. Happy birthday, my G. How you doing, broski?
Appreciate you, man. Good. Sauce.
Oh, I bet. I just got off work. You over here chilling, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sauce.
Birthday Thursday. Happy birthday, my G.
Appreciate you, man.
For all the viewers that are going to come in later on, we will recap today. Here what the headlines read. Playoffs are poison to home teams thus far. It's quite the understatement. It's like only 2 home teams have won thus far in the second round, and
they didn't win game 1.
It's like 60% of all the playoff games won have been on the road. So, and knowing you guys, I'm sure you're gonna win one in Madison Square Garden. But yes, the playoffs are poison to home teams thus far this year, and not to mention 20-point leads are poison to favorites this year. I should have put that in there. Not just because of my Knicks, but I've seen the Pacers do it against the Cavs. I've seen the Nuggets do it against, who was it? The
OKC.
Okay, no. Was it OKC? Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I saw the T-Wolves do it against the Lakers, and we all saw the Warriors doing it against the Rockets. Okay, so if playoffs are poison to home teams, 20-point leads are poison to favorites. Curry's out 3 to 4 games, everybody. That's the sad reality. The chef is out for 3 to 4 games. He might not return till game 6, so we will cover that later on. And the Mecca is ready for chaos. The Mecca is Madison Square Garden. Knicks fans are on another level right now. And I know we're going to speak on that later on. But to put it into context, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the rowdiest you'll see Madison Square Garden since the Pat Riley days. Because I know they got to the finals in 1999, the lockout shortened year. But Patrick Ewing got hurt in the conference finals against the Pacers, so he was out for the rest of the playoffs. So Knicks fans were happy, obviously, that we got to the finals as an 8th seed, and we beat Indiana. Obviously, that's always a plus. And obviously, it was always after Michael Jordan retires. The Knicks make the NBA Finals every time Michael Jordan retires. But that time, we didn't have Patrick Ewing. We didn't have Pat Riley. We had Jeff Van Gundy. We were the 8th seed against Tim Duncan and David Robinson. We had no expectation of beating them. Then in the 2000s, we didn't really do much. And then when we had Carmelo Anthony in 2013, we had 150 games, but we knew that we probably weren't going to win. It just didn't have a good nucleus, no good defense. It had a few good weapons. It had Jason Kidd. It had old Rasheed Wallace. It had Tyson Chandler. It had broken down Amari Stoudemire. He wasn't the same anymore. J.R. Smith and Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean? So we just didn't have the depth. We didn't have the coaching. We didn't have the defense. This right here is going to be the most rowdy you will see Madison Square Garden since Pat Riley got the Knicks to the NBA Finals in '94. So get ready because the Mecca is ready. So let's get to the topics here. Let's cover the first game that's finished tonight. Warriors and Wolves. The Wolves defeat the Warriors 117-93. The series is tied 1-1, going back to San Francisco now. The question I think and everybody else thinks they have in their mind right now is how long can Golden State hold up without Steph Curry? Jimmy's averaging 17, 7, and 4 in this series, and is averaging 29 and 5.
1 game. I'll say 1 game. I think only 1 game because if you don't get right back into the series and you let Minnesota build up their confidence, They're young. They're athletic. They love to run. Golden State may be able to keep up with their pace, but they ain't gonna be able to keep up with their scoring. They would need Steph Curry back in order to have any chance of doing anything. That was a great first game that they had, but I think Minnesota just went in there thinking, like I think they thought shit was sweet, like just because they didn't have Steph Curry,
Be cool, nigga.
I think the second game it showed that Minnesota meant business, and in order for Golden State to get out this series, even if they do, they're not beating the next team. But in order for them to get out this series, they would need Curry back immediately.
So you only think they could win one game?
Without Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but all I do know is I have a different question. Well, maybe not a different question, a different point, a different viewpoint, a different POV, a point of view. To me, it's not that how many games the Warriors can beat the Wolves in without Steph Curry, how many games they can win in this series. To me, is can they at least win one? If they can win one without Steph Curry, one more, this is a series again.
Yeah, if they do win another game, I'd be very surprised. So yeah, I would say yeah.
I'd be shocked if they win more than two. I agree with you. I'd be shocked, but I'm not expecting it. All I know is that I don't even know if they can win one game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't even know, but the saving grace is they've already won one, and they're going back home. That's the saving grace. That's the silver lining.
Yeah, no, that's the silver lining. That you got that.
You got a stacked team.
You're really going back. You're really going back home with the advantage already because you already took one.
You already did what you got.
Stop it, Sam, nigga! Stop it!
Shit, you did better than the Celtics.
Yes. However, like I said, I'll repeat one more time. Warriors only need to win one game without Steph Curry for this to become a series again. Because if he could come back by game 6 and they're only down 2-3, they still have a chance. But if by game 5 they haven't won one game, the series is over.
It's over. I don't care if he comes back or not.
He will come back, but they won't be around.
It would be over.
They won't be around. Now the next question is, how confident are you on the Wolves? They're not looking that good. I mean, who? Honestly, let's just put it all on the board.
Be cool, nigga.
Who is looking good nowadays?
I would say Indiana, probably the team to me that's been the most consistent.
Yeah, but Indiana's defense is shoddy as hell.
Well, I wouldn't say it's shoddy. I would just say that.
I mean, that series don't have no defense anyway. But the Cleveland Cavaliers are supposed to be the better defensive team.
But I would just say that Cleveland's missing pieces. So that was another reason why they weren't able to stop Indiana at certain points in that game. But they would have Mobley and Garland. They would have won that game.
But from what you've seen from this series so far, how confident are you with the T-Wolves taking the West?
Taking the whole West? Mm-hmm. Nah.
You losing confidence?
The West is OKC to me.
Have you? But did you ever have confidence that the Wolves can actually take OKC?
Mm-mm.
I did, just not lately.
Mm-mm.
Just not lately.
What the fuck? I guess you could say before the playoffs started, maybe.
No, before the playoffs started, I had no confidence in them. Actually.
Okay, so you thought in the Lakers series
when I saw because I expected that I expected that to happen. I just didn't know it was going to look that good. I thought I called a 7-game series.
Well, I mean, they are kind of like warming up again. So let's see.
I called a 7-game series. I had no idea they were going to win in 5.
I will say this: they are the best matchup for them because I feel like if Golden State goes up against them, I don't like Golden State's chances of getting to the finals.
Just because Golden State, their supporting cast ain't showing up. Kuminga showed up today, but he ain't gonna show up for another 4 games.
I don't know. I like
Paczynski,
the
where the fuck is he at?
I like the kid Spencer though. I feel like they don't play him enough.
Because he don't play no defense, and he's very lost out there sometimes. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but this is what I heard.
But at this point, to me, you need more offense. You don't need defense. I just feel like you need more offense. Yes. So whoever you could trot out right now that can go score points, you got to go with that. Where's Moody? Where's Moses Moody, man? Like that was a guy who was a first-round pick. You know what I'm saying? And he, to me, he hasn't panned to be anything. Just an inconsistent shooter who can sometimes get it going. But the most you get out of Moody is, what, 20 points? If that. That's not enough. It's not enough. And especially with Jimmy being, to me, I don't think he's 100%. I just don't.
Yeah, something's definitely
I
wrong with
don't
Jimmy.
think he's playing 100%.
Something's
I think
definitely wrong
he's
with
just
Jimmy.
playing,
However, to be fair, at this point of the season, who else healthy? Okay, so let's put that there. But something's definitely bothering him. Let's just see that. We're not giving excuses. We're just saying that something's definitely wrong with Jimmy because he's just not.
We
playing
know
like
who
himself.
Jimmy is, bro.
Yeah.
Like we know how Jimmy plays, and we know how aggressive he plays the game of basketball. And I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing him more be more like a point guard, facilitator, try to get his team going instead of himself.
Now, a thing that I heard about Anthony Edwards, everybody's saying that Anthony Edwards is too happy-go-lucky. He's too loose. He's too nonchalant. And some players are like that.
He got
There's
that fire,
some players I can't think of one. Oh, Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley meant business when he was playing, but he was always a jokester. Shaq, we all know Shaq has a funny side to him, but when it was time to get down to business, Shaq went down to business.
I think he does.
I think Ant-Man is learning to play with that notch. Pause. Because he plays at his best when he's having fun. When he's you know what I'm saying, nonchalant, when he's not putting pressure on himself,
Absolutely.
when he's not all up in his head, you know what I'm saying?
That's everybody.
Well, not everybody reacts the same though.
No,
some people actually prefer living in their brain, you know what I'm saying, in their head. Some people actually prefer it. Michael Jordan was one of them. Kobe was one of them. Very few athletes, but there's some who could actually thrive by living inside their head. Some people it bothers them.
But you see the names you just mentioned.
I know.
That's a whole different ball game. Them having that mental like that where they can actually see the game, and even though they know that they need to make this shot, still have the mentality to make that shot. Not a lot of people in the league like it.
It ain't even about making shots. It's just about
making plays.
Exactly.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
plays.
No, but remember, I prefaced this by comparing him to Charles Barkley and Shaq. Not everybody plays like them either. Not everybody's great by being loose. You know what I'm saying? Because look at Dwight Howard. Everybody blamed Dwight Howard for being loose, and it kind of was true. That man there were times where we felt like, yo, are you taking the game serious enough? We never had that with Shaq or Charles Barkley because they always took it serious. It's just that they had a joking side to them. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say loose, but I would say like most players to me play better when they like don't have to feel that pressure because they play more free. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like I feel like when you don't feel that pressure, obviously if you're up 20 points, you don't feel that pressure, so you're playing more free. But once the game starts to dwindle down, as we're gonna speak about soon here on the podcast, they start to feel that shit. Like this ain't going well, so now I'm playing a little more tight. I'm playing a little more. You know what I'm saying? Trying to secure the ball, and sometimes when you play like that, that's when you fumble the ball. That's when you make that mistake. That's when you travel. So that's what I mean by that.
Yes, but hopefully Ant will get it together. I think he's just still learning on the fly.
I also think
because I'm not saying he's a class clown like Charles and Shaq was, but he's just a little happy-go-lucky. And it reminds me of those mold of guys. But the thing is that those guys knew how to turn the switch on when it was time to.
Would you say Shay's like that?
No, I think Shay's like Cam Newton to me. He's a little lackadaisical too. He's just having fun out there. But SGA is like an immature kid. It's like he hasn't grown up yet. Yeah. Even though I'm not saying that's not a negative to those listening. I'm not saying that SGA is immature. I'm just saying it looks like it. He gives you the energy of someone that's just immature. You know what I'm saying? Is one of those like beginner's luck kind of dude that he's just there and is having fun, and he just doesn't have no worry in the world. He's on top of the world, MVP, number 1 seed, the whole shebang, right?
Absolutely.
But he's not one of those guys. He's not a class clown. I wouldn't say he's a class clown. He reminds me of Cam Newton because Cam Newton was like he wasn't joking like Charles and Shaq, but he had that playful nature to him. Cam Newton. He just seemed like he was a big kid at heart, right? That just let it out there. So you know what I'm saying? SGA seems like a big kid at heart to me, but I wouldn't say he's a class clown like Ant-Man. Ant-Man's out there joking with the referees here and there, sometimes joking with the opponents, and it's cool because that's how he thrives. But the problem is I don't think he knows how to turn it on when he needs to at will just yet. Okay, but it's an interesting series, so let's hope for a speedy recovery for Curry because we would like this. So let's get to the SGA Thunder. The Thunder clapped the fuck out of the Nuggets, 149 to 106, so a 43-point blowout. The series is also tied 1-1, heading back to the Mile High. What do you expect from Denver at home this series?
I expect them to give them a battle. I I said OKC in 7. I believe OKC will win this series, but I think it's going to be a tough series. That's an MVP. We know what Jamal Murray's capable of. We know if Michael Porter gives them more than 12, 15 points, they're pretty much unstoppable with Aaron Gordon at least giving you 10 to 15 points. So if Brown,
Stop it, Sam, nigga!
and they're all cohesive together, then I think this is gonna be a long series because one game don't determine the series. You can win by 80. That's one game, bro. I don't care. People have off nights, and that's I think
Cool, nigga.
a lot of fans don't understand that like even your biggest superstar has an off night. It just happens. It's gonna happen. So that's just what it was. It wasn't an off night for Denver, but because again, I think he had a double in that game, and Jamal Murray still scored over 20. It wasn't that. It was just that OKC had an on night, and so did that bench.
Yeah, I have to agree. 149 to 106 beatdown is demoralizing. But if they were down 0-2, I would be more concerned. But because they already did their job and won one game on the road, going back home, I think they have no worries whatsoever. However, they do have one worry. Without Michael Porter Jr., they can't beat this team, in my view. However, we will see. Home games are different. Maybe some of the other guys will show up. Christian Brown, you know what I'm saying? Maybe some of the other guys will show up. But I seriously have a hard time without Michael Porter at 100% or close to 100%. I really have a hard time seeing that these guys can beat the Thunder. But the Thunder have a problem. They have no defense come this playoff. I'm convinced now. They didn't beat the Nuggets 106-149 because of the defense. They beat them because they were extremely efficient on offense, and I think Denver put the foot out the gas once this guy was in foul trouble. And they're like, you know what?
He fouled out.
No, but before that, before they even fouled out, they were already down a lot.
Yeah, that's
but
what
when he was in foul trouble, they were like, you know what? This is just not going to be our game today. Let's just everybody stay healthy. Let's just run the course of the game. We already did our job and took one. Let's just go home 1-1. And I think that's going to be it. But I have a hard time right now seeing it. But let's see how they play when they go back to Denver. I think this will be an interesting series, too. I don't think the Thunder have this sewn up just yet at all. I don't think anybody does.
It's a team with championship medal. They've been there. They've done it. So
that's another point. Thank you for mentioning that.
Stop it, Sam!
we're going to see what OKC's made of. This is going to be, to me, this is one of their biggest tests in the playoffs. So.
But I need somebody to wake the
I smell pussy. Is that you, Job?
Jamal Murray. Listen, man, you're averaging 21 points per game in the playoffs. I need you to spike that up to 27. And the only reason he's averaging 21 is because one game he scores 30, the other game he scores 15. The next game he scores 44, and then the next game he scores 14. Can't do that. I need you to, if you're gonna average 21 points per game, at least do that every game. But I need you to pump those numbers up, bro. Jokic can't do it by himself. Michael Porter's not around. Aaron Gordon's doing the best he can, and even Westbrook is doing what he can. Okay. We cannot count on Christian Brown. That's like Austin Reeves over there. I love the guy, but he's not you. Jamal Murray, we're going to put you under pressure this Saturday. Don't you fucking worry. So let's get to the next game, the next series, which is the Pacers and the Cavs. This series is led by Indiana 2-0. Pacers barely scraped by 2 times. They came back from 20-point deficit. 120 to 119 defeat of the Cavs. How can Cleveland turn the series around, and if they can at all? Spiders 2 of 18 from 3 this series. How can Cleveland turn this series around? And can they? I picked the Pacers to win from the get-go. The reason why is because I said it a few months, maybe a month ago when the season was ending, the Cavs don't scare nobody. They're a great team, don't get me wrong, but they don't scare nobody. Number 2, their defense is overrated, just like Oklahoma City's. That defense is overrated. That's not a championship defense, but it is a championship roster. Okay? Championship roster, but not a championship defense. Number 2, I saw how Cleveland played against Miami. And even though they swept them, Miami made a few of those games interesting just because Cleveland's defense is that bad. And I said in my mind, a team like Miami cannot keep up with the scoring of Cleveland, but if they face somebody that can keep up with them, they're in trouble. Sure enough, this is what's happening right now.
How I feel about this question is,
obviously, Spider's going to have to shoot better from 3. That's obvious. But that's not enough.
but I also think it's incomplete. Why I say it's incomplete is because they're incomplete. They need their stars back. They need two. They missed 2 players that if they would have had the last game, not talking about.
Dog man says, nigga, dog man says.
That's 1.
You're
And
right.
then 2 is, out of all the teams that I see like coming back from the 2-0 deficit, it's gotta be the Cavs. They got the firepower to get it done. And again, if Mobley and Garland play the next game, this is a whole different ball game. We don't even know what they're completely capable of. So that's why I have it as an incomplete. We still haven't seen them at their full mode.
What do you expect the series to be when it gets back to Game 5?
I think it'll be 3-1.
What if Cleveland gets swept?
Cleveland gets swept.
They're going to blame it on Garland not being there, but
If Cleveland gets swept,
they're going to face some tough decisions over there in Cleveland if they don't win this.
okay. So if
this is the
Cleveland
year.
gets swept, I think this is one of those things where don't blow it out of proportion. Don't believe that they're not this good. There's something missing here. Is it possible that maybe Mitchell is getting in his own way? Possible, but we won't know until we completely see them at their full, full force. To me, once they have all the pieces, then I can see what's shaking. But as of right now, it's an incomplete for me.
It's too incomplete. But he's right. The main reason that they can turn the series around is if Garland gets back, but who knows when that is. And even if he does get back, how healthy is he going to be and how effective will he be? Because he has something wrong with his toe.
And I don't know what happened with Mobley. What happened with Mobley?
I have no idea. Something wrong with Mobley?
Yeah.
I was at work, so I didn't know. I saw the highlights, but the highlights obviously don't show that shit. I was unaware of that, so thank you for saying that. But he something's wrong with his toe. He has turf toe or something like that. I don't know how you have turf toe in the gym, but I think you should call it gym toe, I guess.
Facts.
He obviously is basketball. You need your feet. You need your feet to cut, to move, to shift, all that shit.
Explosiveness, all that.
To accelerate, decelerate, to defend, to do it all. And Garland's one of the most athletic
Shifty.
guards that we have in the league. So he definitely needs his speed. He definitely needs his toe to be right. And I don't blame him for sitting out. If you can't help your team and you just lame duck sitting out there doing nothing, then there's no reason to play. But that just goes to show you how a guy that averages 19 points a game for his career is valuable for his team. And I think Indy has this one sewn almost.
I'll tell you one thing: Ty Jerome can't go 1 for 13 again.
No.
How do you trying to claim 6th man of the year, and that's the performance you bringing out?
Yeah.
You got me fucked up.
Now, the Pacers got to be goddamn excited right now. They should be
Hell yeah.
definitely confident. How confident should Pacer fans be that they're going to finish this series out? On a scale of 1 to 10.
6.
A 6. I would go 7, just because I predicted this to happen already. I felt like the Cavs are going to be in trouble with the Pacers, even if Garland played. I just didn't expect them to be down 2-0 or 0-2. But
That was a miraculous win, man. That was incredible.
yes, but
Incredible.
the coach has to get some blame into this one because he mismanaged this a lot of times. There were times where he should have called a timeout. He didn't. He let the game play out, and then the Pacers got inched a little closer. In game 1, there were times where they could have fouled on purpose to prevent them from shooting a 3 so that they could get the ball back and keep doing that. They didn't do that, and ended up they shot a 3 and made it. they were down by 1 when they got the ball back at the end of the game. So coaching is definitely letting the Cavs down in a way. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying that he's made some coaching errors in the first 2 games of this series. Hopefully, he's learned from that because if you have your chance to close it out, you should. The Thunder did that same similar mistake, except the exact opposite way. They were up by 3 points. No, they were up by 4 points, and instead of fouling intentionally, a guy that couldn't shoot, they just let the play ran out. They shot a 3, and now they're down. They're only up 1, and it's like, if you would have just made the dude, I forgot his name. Who was it? It was Westbrook. I think it was Westbrook. Yeah. If you would just put Westbrook on the free throw line, I'm sure you would have won that game. But you just had too much faith. You thought we have a good defense, and you forgot that the other team has a championship medal, like my boy says here. So, coaches, we're looking at you very, very, very carefully. Y'all better not make no more mistakes, because then we'll put you on the pressure.
By the way, I wonder if they're missing Karis LeVert.
They are missing Karis LeVert.
Because I feel like Karis LeVert is a lot more shifty than DeAndre Hunter. I like DeAndre Hunter, more of a spot-up shooter. I don't like him trying to take people off the dribble. He's too slow, in my opinion. I think Karis LeVert has more like shiftiness to his game. He could almost be like your de facto point guard. You know what I'm saying? So you can get the ball to Donovan Mitchell's hand so much because it's always in his hand. It's like, bro, like you got to stick him. What the fuck is going on? Like,
well, one thing I'm noticing is that other than Donovan Mitchell, it seems like nobody can create for themselves.
Well, that's what Ty Jerome was there for, but for some reason he's not performing every time.
Jerome ain't nobody.
I know, but what you saw in the first round was pretty good.
Yeah, but remember, I also told you that a lot of teams supporting cast show up in the first round when it's easier games, but as soon as the series gets heavy with competition, a lot of those guys fizzle out. I've been saying that. Who's going to show up to the party and who's not? Because I already know who's going to show up. I just don't know who else is going to come with. And that's a problem for a lot of teams right now. Okay? So let's get to our teams.
Here's your segue. Here's your segue to someone who's not consistent.
Yes. My New York Knicks are up 2-0. They beat the Celtics 91-92.
They beat their
popcorn
ass.
games.
They beat their ass.
Tatum is also shooting horrible from 3. He's 5 of 20 from the 3-point this series.
It's my bike, punk.
How confident should New York fans be after 2 games?
Absolutely. A 10. A 10. They should be super happy. Okay, so this is what I'll say. New York has played both
Be
games.
cool, nigga.
I ain't being cool. These niggas have played both. The Knicks have played both games, right, where they were down 20 points and came back and won on the Celtics floor. Nigga, that's like taking your heart away. It's not once though. Twice in a series. Never been done before. I question if Jason Tatum is the guy for the job, for this job, of when the game's close, can we count on him to make a big shot, a big pass, a big play? Has he done it? Yes. Consistently? No. And that's the problem. When I see the fourth quarter come, I look at that guy right there, the one in New York Knicks over here. Yeah. No, wait, not him. Jalen Brunson. I look at him. Another one play for the Knicks. And I go, oh, that guy's gonna make a shot. When I look at Tatum, I'm almost like hoping that it goes in. I'm like, it look like I can't. I just don't know if he's the guy for the job. And then the other guy, which is Jaylen Brown, to me he checks out too much. Like there's moments where I see him and it's like you could just see in his eyes he's like deer in the headlights where he's just not paying attention. He's just like, it's almost like you lose his focus.
Well, here's some things I've noticed. Number one, you're not the same defensive team you were last year. But that's okay. You're still very good. You're just not the same. Number two, Something's definitely wrong with some of your players. I'm sure they're not healthy. I'm sure it is. Something's wrong with Drew Holiday. He's not shooting like he normally is. And something's wrong with Jaylen Brown. He's not attacking like he normally is.
Bro, I don't want to hear none of that shit.
No, but something's definitely wrong. You can tell that they're not themselves right now. They're just not themselves. I'm not saying Tatum is. I'm not saying Derek White. I'm just saying I noticed that those two, for some reason, are just not. And who knows what's wrong with Porzingis? It's some illness.
And I understand what you're saying by that. But what was the one thing that the Celtics had that the advantage? Where's that right now?
Where is that at? Exactly.
Where is that
Where
at?
is that at?
So when Brown looks like a deer in the headlights and Tatum can't throw it in the ocean, where are we getting our offense from?
Yes.
Derek White's not shooting the ball well. Nobody on the Celtics is shooting the ball well.
And that was going to be my third thing. The third thing is that for some reason your supporting cast ain't like it was last year. Now, how confident should New York fans be after 2 games? I say they should be at a 5. Knowing New York how I know, and everybody who watches hoops have seen the Bing Bong
New York
side talk.
They don't play as good.
The side talk shit. New York fans are super overconfident, okay? We all know that. But how confident will New York fans be after 2 games? They're going to be at 20,000. How confident should New York fans be after 2 games? I would say a 5.
So you're saying tone it down a little.
I'm not saying to tone it down. I think they should be at a 5. I know they're going to be at a 20,000, okay? I already know that. But the reason why I say a 5 is because this series is far from over. Number 1. Number 2, we're not playing good either. We may be up 2-0, but we're shooting like shit.
That is true.
Fatality.
Hopefully,
you're making timely shots.
Hopefully, we could start shooting better when we get back home. But something tells me they will too. They play better on the road. They're one of the best road teams in the game. And let me tell you something. They don't give a fuck if they're in their garden or our garden.
Oh, we're not. Don't expect us to. We ain't going out like that. Like
hell no. Hell no.
I watched Miami try to do that shit, and they was like, "Fuck you."
So we just guaranteed. That this is going to be a 6-game series. So my prediction that the Knicks will lose in 5 has been wrong. Okay. So we just guaranteed that this is going to be at least a 6-game series. But
I said 7. So
if New York can win just 1 game at home, 1 game, just 1, I have a 90% chance that we're going to advance. If we win just 1. But if we lose both games at home, the series is over. We're not winning again. Now, Charles Barkley famously said it yesterday in Shaq.
You think they'll come back to New York and lose?
If we lose these 2
you say
games,
they'll lose 4 in a row?
If we lose these next 2 games, this series is over. Unless we win all the road games somehow, some way. So we win all 4 in Boston and we lose all 3 in New York.
I don't know because Boston doesn't play. They really don't play good at home.
Well, then that's the only way I can see it because I don't see us.
The only reason I'm taking them Game 7 is because I feel like Game 7 they're gonna show up.
There's no way in hell we're gonna win this next 2 games.
You're not winning a Game 7 in Boston, so that's why.
Yeah, we're not. There's no way in hell we're gonna win the next 2 games. Okay. I don't see it in any way. We're not sweeping y'all.
I think Game 6. Nah, come on.
Okay. So if we lose both games at home, we're not winning Game 5, in my view.
No.
However, I could be wrong. I've been wrong this whole series. I could be wrong. I just don't see it.
Probably not, but you come back home.
Yes.
Game 6, I think you win that.
But 4 games after losing 3 games in a row to you, I seriously doubt it.
I think you win that.
But knowing Brunson and all these guys, they never say die, and Tom Thibodeau will never say die. So this is probably shaping up to be a 7-game series classic.
People need to stop underestimating the Knicks.
Yeah.
I didn't underestimate the Knicks. I went in this series saying 7 because I knew what they're capable of. And they're showing it late in games. They're making timely buckets like they've been doing all season. And then now their defense is even better.
Bing bong. What's up, Cole? Yeah, we were just talking about how confident should New York fans be. We already know they're going to be at 20,000, but how confident should they be? And I say a 5 because this series is far from over. I'm expecting to lose one of these games in Madison Square Garden, and
Cole, you know I'm still representing though. I don't hear none of that. None of that.
Yes, man. This series is concerning for the Celtics at the moment. But all it takes is one good game to switch everything and watch how everybody's like, oh, the Celtics woke up, the champions are back. This series is over in 6 or 7. But till then, New York fans can glaze all they want to, and talk all the shit, bing bong it up.
Have fun.
But I do have a question.
And hats off to the Knicks, man. The Knicks.
I do have one
just
question.
come through in the biggest moments. They absolutely. We've shrunk and they've risen. As simple as that.
My one question is, tell me a little something, KD. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? That bum decided to go to Brooklyn. Nothing happened, and then now he's in Phoenix, and nothing happened. Less than nothing happened.
Imagine if he was on the Knicks.
I know, 86% to win the series. We know, but I'm a Yankees fan who saw a team go 3-0 and lose.
Anything's possible.
Against Boston.
Anything's possible, bro.
Okay? Nothing's over until it's over. I've learned that the hard way. One time, Kobe, I'll give you a story. The New York Yankees were in the World Series against the Diamondbacks in 2001, okay? This is a month, it is a month and a half after September 11, okay? So this meant a lot for New York. The Yankees are the 3-time defending champions. They just did a 3-peat the year before, okay? Going for a 4-peat. We go into Arizona. They had home field advantage, and we lose the first 2. And it looked ugly. It looked like they were about to sweep us. Then our ace came back in Game 3, won, and then the reality said that, hey, unless we have good pitching, we're not going to beat this team. That 4th game, we were losing down 3-1 in the 9th inning with 2 outs. I turned the TV off. I didn't want to see it. I was so mad because I wanted them to win for 9/11, September 11th. I wake up the next day, and the world was in full joy. The Yankees came back and won. I missed a game-winning home run and the game-tying home run, right? Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
you know.
Cole, the very next night, the Yankees are, again, now the series tied 2-2. The next night, the Yankees are down in the 9th inning with 2 outs, 2 runs. I turned the TV off thinking there's no way it's going to happen again. Sure enough, I wake up, and guess what? It happened again. The Yankees fucking home run tied it and won in extra innings. And you think I learned my lesson, Cole? No. The year after, it was a year later, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the Super Bowl champions, okay? They're 5-0 the next season, and I'm watching them against the Indiana Colts on a Monday night. They're up 32-3. I turn the TV off. I go sleep. I wake up the next morning. I got my Warren Sapp Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey on. I go to the school bus. Everybody has their Buccaneers jersey on, right? And we're just talking shit, waiting to get to the school to talk to all the fans, right? When we get to school, seems like everybody else did it because nobody else knew. Nobody in the school bus knew. When we got to school, bro, everybody had newspapers there for us because they knew this is before cell phones. They had the newspapers there for us because they know we wouldn't believe it. Some guy named Peyton Manning led a comeback on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they won. I was so roasted. I promised myself that day I will never, ever underestimate. I will never close it out, and I will never turn the TV off until that shit hits 0. Okay? I had to spend the entire school day with that jersey on. And everybody else who did too.
That's why they have that saying into the family.
It ain't over till it's over. Cole, you have no idea. I'm talking about the entire school was waiting for our school bus. Nobody else's school bus. Our school bus. And they had their newspapers there waiting, just waiting. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? How are they so happy? And sure enough, I'm looking at that shit. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And when I got home, I looked at the highlights. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe, because normally before I go to school, I'm eating breakfast, getting ready, and I have ESPN News on to see anything I missed. I didn't do that.
Because you thought it was...
Because I thought it was a done deal. With the Yankees, I did learn the next morning. I was like, fuck, because I had ESPN News on. I'm like, damn, I missed it. And then the next morning, damn, I missed it again. Never again. That will never happen again. Lesson learned.
Finish him!
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, that shit was roasted.
Yeah, bro.
That was embarrassing.
Dude, we're phone book era, bro. Phone book era, bro. Yellow pages.
Yeah, this is before sidekicks. This is before flip phones. All that shit, bro. Nobody had cell phones back then. Just yet. Only adults did. But Cole, let's recap what we've covered so far. The Wolves and the Warriors. we're wondering how long can Golden State hold up without Curry, and what we both agree on this one. He said his take was, I don't see him winning more than one game without Steph Curry, and which I agree. I seriously doubt that they're going to win more than one game without Steph Curry. However, my take was, if they could just win one of the home games in San Francisco before Steph Curry comes back, this is a new series. This series is still a series. This is a series. But if they lose every game without Steph Curry, by the time Steph Curry comes back, they're eliminated. What do you think? The Thunder and the Nuggets, his take was that, you know what I'm saying, a beatdown like this means nothing because when you restart game 3, it's back to 0-0. You're back to even. And the Nuggets are championship. They have championship pedigree, so they'll be able to respond, and they have resolve. They're not going to just lay flat and let them roll over.
Which is why when we're up 20, I don't know why my team's celebrating like we won something.
Yeah.
Like why in the third quarter we're celebrating like we won? It's just 4 quarters.
Cole says this is his take that this is exactly how he expects every game to look like without Curry, the way it looked like today.
I could see
that can happen. That can definitely happen.
But
Cole, like I said, all you need is one game.
One
game, because you already did your job. The series is tied 1-1. It's not like you're down 2-0. You're tied 1-1. You already did your job and win one on the road. All you have to do is win one at home without Steph Curry. Just one.
And let's
one.
not act
and
like,
this is a series again.
Let's not act like Buddy Hield can't get it done, because Buddy Hield has shown he's more than capable than pulling out one of these 30-point games.
Cole, it's funny you said that, because look at my my intro. Playoffs are poison to home teams this year. The away teams have the advantage, it seems like. Playoffs have been poison to home teams, just like 20-point leads are poison to the favorites. Okay? No. My take on this was that something is definitely bothering me with the Nuggets. Number one is that Jamal Murray is inconsistent. And number two, they don't have Michael Porter around. Michael Porter he has a bum shoulder. And without 100% Michael, or close to 100% Michael Porter Jr., I just have a hard time seeing the Nuggets beating the Thunder right now as we speak. But let's see how they play when they get back home in the Mile High City. That was my take for that one. Then we were talking about Indy and Cavs. How can Cleveland turn the series around? His take was they need Garland and they missed Caris LeVert. I agree. I completely agree.
And Evan Mobley.
I think that they can turn this around, but it's very unlikely. And for them to turn it around, Garland probably needs to be back healthy, and Spider cannot be shooting 2 of 18 from 3 in this series.
And he can't shoot so goddamn much. It's ridiculous. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, MPJs have a huge history with back injuries since the moment he got drafted. That's why the Knicks didn't draft him. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see when they get back to the Mile High. They probably won't be. Thunder probably won't be as comfortable as they were at home, obviously, and they already fucked up and lost one. They shouldn't have done that.
Watch out for Jalen Williams. If he goes off, then the Thunder will go off.
He has yet to go off this playoffs.
To me, I haven't seen it yet. That's what I'm saying. Maybe like one game he had like 26, but I haven't seen a 30-point game. I haven't seen anything.
I haven't even seen a quarter where he took over. Or a time, a run where SGA was probably on the bench resting, and he had the reins.
He's had to have SGA in there. Absolutely, I agree.
And I knew it. I knew Holmgren wasn't going to show up. I just hoped Williams was going to show up. You know what I'm saying? I was just hoping that. I already knew Holmgren was not going to show up. I don't trust Holmgren. I canceled them a long time ago, and it's not because I hate. I think he's a phenomenal player, but he's a little too overrated. And his draft stock was way higher than I expected him to be. Something told me. This guy, I don't think he's going to be injury prone, but he's just a little bit...
I smell pussy, is that you, Jive?
Sorry, I just call it how I see it, and I'm not sorry. Holmgren is ass to me. He should not be getting paid what he gets paid. Hartenstein should be the center for that team, and Holmgren should be the power forward, the stretch forward. I think that's what they should do. He's not a center. He's never going to play like a center. He will never be a center.
No, that'd be a great idea, absolutely. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely not big enough to be playing the center anyway.
And then you already caught the takes from the Knicks and the Celtics. But yeah, MPJ has a lot of back. He does. I just hope he gets healthy quick, because I like I said, at the moment I just have a hard time seeing them beating the Thunder without him at near 100%. But who knows? Maybe Aaron Gordon and Westbrook and Christian Brown and Jamal Murray and Jokers will be enough when they get back to Nuggets to Denver in the Mile High City. So maybe the Mile High will give them that advantage where these guys are over there sucking on oxygen masks throughout the game on the bench. Big pause.
So I have a question. On Sports Center this morning on First Take, they asked Stephen A. if George Pickens to the Cowboys, if that makes them second in the AL East. I mean NFC East. Sorry, my bad. If that makes them a contender now.
I was gonna wait till Saturday, but fuck it. There's no way in hell they're gonna be the second best team in the East, in the NFC East.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, did you see what the
They don't. They do now. Nowadays they do, but for the history, no. Nah.
Nah.
But they do now. They do now, obviously, because they got Jokic and they're world champions for the first time. But yeah, I always said this, Cole. I said it a few weeks ago, or maybe just last week. For a city that has a very good advantage at home with the elevation, where guys are not used to breathing high up in the air like that, they're literally a mile high. They don't call it a Mile High City for nothing.
Really hasn't been disadvantaged.
For a city that has three major sports teams: the Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets, and they play with that altitude advantage. For some reason, for them to only have a total of, I think it's four championships between all three teams, it's crazy work to me. Crazy work. It is. I mean, the Broncos are the only ones that actually win consistently, but the fact that the Nuggets just won their first championship a few years ago with all the stars they've had, all the legends they've had, the Rockies, even the Broncos, the fact that they don't win as often as I think they should with that advantage is beyond me, broski. I have no idea how a city with a mile high advantage don't win enough, because that is an advantage. You see it all the time. The players on the sidelines out there like fucking Darth Vader. They can't breathe because they're not used to it. So we'll see. We'll see. But no, there's no way in hell George Pickens makes the Cowboys better like that. Let me tell you something. Number one, I know that in your division, nobody repeats. You might not repeat this next year, but you're probably gonna be the wild card team. The Cowboys ain't. It's gonna be the Redskins and the Eagles. That's it. The Giants ain't going nowhere. They might because they have a pretty good solid defense. They might just be at 500 and maybe get another.
To me, their
run.
defense is better than the Cowboys. So I just don't. I don't like that with that tape, because I feel like it's one of those where you got a new head coach.
Yeah, look what he said. The Rockies is nuts, setting up to have the most losses in the modern MLB era. Yeah. He's not lying.
Yeah, it's bad.
And the fact is, Cole, if you look at their stadium, they have to put the dimensions a little bit further because the ball flies out there. I can wait for football, man. My Knicks are doing good, so I can care less about the Ravens right now. I'm still mad at them. I'm just very, very, very mad at my Ravens because we should have won a Super Bowl already under the Lamar Jackson era. We should have.
Kobe don't watch football like he ain't gonna be on football like that. Because of this, but not like he don't care if they win or not.
Cole, what's your football team? Because he's Eagles, Ravens. But yeah, no, the Cowboys, no.
I think also having a new head coach, like a coach that we don't even know who the fuck he is really, like what he's capable of. It's just like
a brand new coach, a brand new everything.
Implementing all that shit.
Niners. That's what's up. Oh, he's from San Fran then. You must be from San Fran.
Yeah. Warriors too.
Yeah, he must be from San Fran or Northern Cal. And
but yeah, that's what I feel like.
There's nothing wrong with Lamar, Cole. There's nothing wrong with Lamar. It's just that they just don't get it done. It's not just Lamar. This last one was on. It was a team effort.
That was not on Lamar.
That was a team effort.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Part of it was on Lamar. Part of
yeah.
it was on the tight end. Some of it was on the wide receivers.
Let me get that right. It was on Lamar as well, but I mean, they had a chance.
Out from Oakland, the Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel like him, a new coach implementing his whole new offense, You know what I'm saying? You got a new probably got a new defensive coordinator. You probably more than likely because when you bring in a new head coach, that head coach usually bring in new coaches behind that. So you probably got a new offensive coordinator. You probably got a new defensive coordinator. It's like
I would be more confident with the Cowboys had Dak Prescott played the whole season, and with a new coach, it doesn't matter. But the fact that you have a new coach with a rusty-ass franchise quarterback that hasn't played in over a year,
that too.
that's going to – I just don't see him going to be, you know what I'm saying, hit the road running. I just don't see it from the get-go. I think it's going to be –
People are going to get hype about this move, but to me, this move wasn't made for this year.
However, I will make a prediction right now. The Cowboys will be dangerous around November more than they are in September. They will be dangerous at one point because they're still a good roster. They just, you know what I'm saying, need better leadership and quarterback play. Yeah, they usually clear house. Yeah, they did clear house. So we don't know what to expect. We don't know if they're going to be a defensive-minded team or an offensive-minded team. We will only know when we know. But whatever they're going to build, they will be a little bit more dangerous come November. So by then, you should have your lead on them because you don't want to see them in November and you guys are tired.
All of that is hearsay because at the end of the day, the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles are the teams to beat in that division.
They are the team to beat in that division.
Simple.
They are the team to beat. It's their divisions to lose. But we shall see. It should get a little interesting. But, Colby, I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to sign out now at the 15-minute mark. We're going to come back Thursday and recap the games, talk a little bit more football, and and wish my boy it's his birthday. Happy birthday today. Birthday Thursday. Happy birthday again, my G.
Gonna get another beer.
Yes. Want to smoke one? Watch these highlights and see what else we could come up with for Saturday. So appreciate you, man. We're gonna put players under pressure. This is the Pressure Podcast, everybody. Means to perform, react, and do it using strategies in sports under rigorous environments, motherfucker.
Give me a hell yeah!
As what viewers have saved, you have a web link. We could always, webcam. We could send you a web link to put you on a little screen right here. Hop on the mic and talk your shit.
Finish him!
Appreciate you.
Till Saturday, Cole. Appreciate you, man. Our number one right there, day one. Appreciate the viewers. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Give us your takes. We want to hear what